best entertainment on the earth. Tune in for Comics with Perch.
Hey everybody, this is Perch. So let's go for a nice easy mail. We've had a lot of heavy topics. We've got, people getting angry and pissy. The comic industry is got some issues right now. Some potentially bigger issues, and I don't know. This is the kind of stuff I think you'd love for me to do a video on. A lot of it's kind of a collection of rumors and other things. I'll throw out there that a major company is not getting back to licensors, and the licensors are freaked out and not understanding what's going on. And I'll do some commentary on that later. But that's, when you're in a business, I recently said this to a friend. I said, when you're doing a business and you're looking to either partner with somebody or buy somebody or release a product, whatever it happens to be, you look for outliers. You look for patterns of behavior that don't make sense, that don't match a pattern. And the reason you do that is because outliers tend to, identify or highlight kind of deeper systemic issues going on in the company. So if you're doing a risk analysis, a risk profile, or anything like that, that's it's something you look for as a trouble spot. Right now, there's a lot of weird little outliers popping up. And if you notice, people are uptight. There is a dramatic increase in people like going flaming out on Twitter or various places. Like people are a lot more pissy and high strung. And a lot of the people who, make it their business to really kind of, in my opinion, stir up trouble and cause a lot of chaos, gatekeep and all that other stuff, are super active again. It had gotten quiet for a while. I think it's a combination of a lot of these little outliers, things like, the comic data coming in that, is not exactly positive. Just a lot of these factors in combination, I think, have people really, really super on edge. But let's talk about disruptive technology, which is always super fun for me. So this is a mail that writes in. It says, "Dear Perch Perchington," I love how that name's been adopted. That all sprung from a spam mail coming in to me saying, Perch P. Perchington, I've been spying on your laptop and seen you playing with yourself, and you need to send me Bitcoin. That's where this originated. Just reminding people of the origin story of Perch P. Perchington. Anyway, enjoyed your most recent reply to Eric Larson's response to your video about manga displacing comics in big box stores. I don't usually like doing a lot of reply videos, by the way. I say it if somebody wants to go attack, and more power to them. But you raised enough stuff that it made another video. But that's not my jam, as they say. What I found most striking about the response, though, is that it sounded eerily similar to what incumbents say about disruptive technologies that are in the process of eating their market. I realize that many would probably balk at the idea that something as simple as a tankobon format could be called a technology, let alone a disruptive one. However, people often forget, or never learned in the first place, that the theory of disruptive technologies was originally developed to explain why no hard drive manufacturer ever went out of business due to a radical technology that made better hard drives. But nearly every hard drive manufacturer in history has failed when an upstart began making a physically smaller drive and the computing industry adopted that smaller size. That's a little dense, but that's absolutely true, and it's a pretty cool story. And when you think about disruption, I'm loving this guy. I don't know who this person is, but love this person. Anyway, so thinking about the physical format of comics as a disruptive technology really is going back to the roots of where the theory of disruption came from. Look, you may or may not be a technologist, but the person's absolutely right. A lot of the origins to disruptive technology came from what they would call microtechnology or micro-sizing. And it was the idea that, make everything smaller, be it a camera or a computer or a hard drive or a battery or any of these other things. They'd make it smaller, and because they make it smaller, it changed the form factor, and the form factor made it more accessible for people to buy, usually made it cheaper over time because of other constraints. So there's a bunch of things in there, but size matters, so they say. I wouldn't know because, as you know from other videos, I'm gigantic myself. But it turns out that this is a pretty big driver of change. So we go back to the mail. It says, and it makes a certain amount of sense. Comics have become trapped with a focus on the high end and not the low end or non-consumers. The consumers that comic companies focus on want color. They want to purchase in specialty shops. They want collectability. They want high quality paper. They want sprawling, complex stories with shared universes. But the low-end consumer just wants an hour or two of escapism at the cost of a movie ticket and are willing to sacrifice all the above that aren't being served by the incumbents. Is a market ripe for disruption? Yes, it is. 100% it is. And by the way, all those consumers that want color, specialty shops, quality paper, everything else, I don't think they want it as much as people assume. Comic customers, and take it again as a guy who's a retailer for years and years, they will complain about any change, but more often than not, they adopt to that change. They pivot. It's the comic people are vocal about what they like and they don't like. Keep buying. And in many cases, it's not necessarily that they like it; it's that they know it. They know that comics come in a certain size. They know what a long box does. They know the bag. They know the board. They know the whole process. They know coming into a shop on a Wednesday. But they don't love coming into the shop on a Wednesday. That's just what they know. And so if you bring something new out, your immediate reaction is definitely going to be, you've changed. You've moved my cheese. You've changed my world. And I'm unhappy because now I have to do something different. But in most cases, they adapt pretty quickly. And sometimes when you are bringing disruption technology to the market, you do have to irritate people up front. You have to have a better mousetrap. You have to have a better product in the end, but you are going to potentially annoy people out the gate. It's just kind of how it goes. We'll wrap up this mail. It says, what do you think? If what we're witnessing is a disruptive technology in the process of displacing incumbents, the good news is that it's a well-studied problem. The well-worn strategies for an incumbent to deal with disruption should give Marvel, DC, and Image a blueprint to survive. You take over the channel, man. You got it. So it's all true. And by the way, I don't know why. Again, this is a talking point that some people give who are critics of me on the on the other side, the comics are all dying side. It's like Perch is an apologist and makes excuses for the industry. That people love to say it. The reality is, moving to some of these formats, and this to me is the most infuriating thing. So please, before you assume my intention and everything, just listen to what I'm saying. It would be very easy for comics to adapt. It would largely be very easy for them to adapt because there is so much background and history and room. There's so much. There is a blueprint of how to do it. Not just in other businesses. You don't even have to have much of an imagination. Studying how manga has managed to distribute, publish, and put in formats is your answer. If you're Marvel, you don't even have to swallow or accept or agree that the content is the problem at all. This is always what trips people up. They're like, but the content is a problem. Hang on. There's like 5 or 6 no regrets moves. If you work in a corporation, that's become a popular phrase, much like my dude and your racism is showing and other stupid stuff people say online. They call it a no regrets move. And this is something that doesn't necessarily change the world, but it's an obvious good idea, and you should do it. It's in this area for comics. It's like, hey, if you go around to every single bookshelf, every bookstore, every big store that deals in volumes, there's a size format. It's that tankobon format. It's one. I'm sorry, especially if you're a purist. And by the way, I like seeing comics in a bigger page format for sure, but you cannot deny reality. The smaller size format is dominant. So you have 2 choices. You can either go, all right, I'm going to make life easier for myself. I'm going to make that no regrets move and start putting material out in that format because that's the only way I'm going to get on that shelf. I don't care whether you're the CFO at Image or president of Marvel or Dan Didio, Joe Quesada, Jim Lee. I don't care who you are. You're not going to get Target, Barnes and Noble to redo their shelves for you. They are more powerful. That's the retailer. They have their business. It's a high volume throughput business. If you would like to play in that space, you're going to have to adapt to that market. Period. And that market has decided it's done. The technology or the size is it. It's that Tonkaban format. And so take the no regrets move. Put a product out there. I know Marvel has their Masterwork, the new format in a smaller size. It's a good idea. You got to do more. Do more. I'm sorry. Look, I mean, this is it's madness. It's shouting at the sky. It is right there. I guess your other option is you can say, nope. Comic readers are never going to change. They're never going to go down to a smaller size. They're going to complain. They're never going to do it. So we might as well give up and just say, you know what? We're never going to sell any books to that, to that chain. Forget it. We're just not going to do it. I'll tell you, if you're Mark Miller, please, Mark Miller, please get some money. Put your book in a Tonkaban format. Go to a Penguin Random House or one of those distributors. Go to those guys. I understand by the way, there may be, relationships with Image and the contracts they have and other things, but go to Penguin Random House whenever you can. Take one of your comics, take King of Spies, put it in Tonkaban format, smaller unit. Take it in and have a Penguin Random House, whoever it happens to be, shop it to that channel. They will do it. And they will buy it. Some of your stuff's not going to work. It's in there, but they're waiting for it. Weeks and months ago, if you missed it, there was this correspondence with the chain Five Below, which is like a slightly fancier dollar store, who's all in on Tonkaban format. Now they could give a shit whether it's manga or U.S. comics. They don't even know what those words mean. Seriously, they don't know. All they know is big volume product, that size, it's on the shelf, go. That's the disruptive technology. So, yes, somebody will do it in the comments. Please, please, please. You can tell who's going to listen to this stage in the video. I understand. But the content also, I understand about the content. But there is such a thing as a no regrets move. This is a no regrets move. And, somebody do it. For the love of God, please. If you're Dynamite, if you're Boom, Mad Cave, who do I have to pay? I am at a place right now where I'm like, hey, I will pay for your print run out of my pocket. Just to truly making a no regrets move. You don't have to pay for it. Please, for the love of God, will somebody do this? If for no other reason, I will get the self-satisfaction of going, yeah. And now you got your product in a big box store and you suddenly put 150,000 units up on the wall. Come on. I'm begging you. I am begging you. I'll tell you right now in this video, just to kind of pull the curtain back a little bit, I'm working with an artist creator and we're absolutely printing the comics in a Tonkaban format. And I am in conversations with the Adixol box lunch conglomerate of people, and they're absolutely after it, ready to take it. It's not a well-known artist, but a good guy. If Perch guy nobody knows. This is the biggest comedy of Eric Larson wanting to come in and waste his time on me. I've got 40,000 subs. Wes gets way more hits on his videos now because he's a lot more spicy these days. Like, what are you doing wasting your time? Jesus Christ, Eric, your profit margin's not huge on Savage Dragon. Stop wasting your time with me. I am an absolute waste of time. Yeah, let me take an half an hour out of my day to write a long response to this Perch guy with 40,000 subs and a video that had 1,500 hits. That's a fine use of my time. It's a terrible use of your time. But look, if I can get a box store to take a Tongabon format from an artist people don't know. What the F companies? Come on. Anyway, thank you very much for the mail. A great mail. Very well reasoned. Appreciate it. Thanks for listening.